Hello and welcome everyone to the Saturday night happy hour for the 2025 Authortube Writing Conference presented by our banner sponsor, Later Press. We're here to relax, have a drink, water or otherwise, and talk about some of the great presentations we've seen already and talk about what's to come. By the way, I'm Kauffman, the recruitment chair for the Authortube Writing Conference and also the founder of the Right Now community. I am so excited and so happy. We've had some absolutely great presentations. I know I did one at some point earlier today, and I was so impressed that I got through everything I needed to do in under an hour. So very proud of myself and everyone who showed up. I am so happy, and I have many more thoughts, but I'll kick it over to you, Devon, to intro yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Devon. I write fantasy and steampunk with snarky female leads, and I'm also the publicity chair for the Authortube Writing Conference. My presentation will be tomorrow, and it's all about going local, how to properly get into libraries, sign up with conventions and book fairs, and just find your local bookstores and how to go through the process of talking to people when you're an introvert. And I'll pass it on to Shanon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shanon. I write under the pen name of S.D. Huston, fantasy romance author, and the founder and conference chair of the Authortube Writing Conference. And we did the first page critique panel earlier today, so that's what I was able to get done. And we have, we're supposed to have two of our judges with us, Natalie and DL, but I think DL is still finishing up her presentation because it was just going. So we'll probably see her come on in a little bit. But yeah, it was good. We didn't get through all the submissions that I had pulled out. Sometimes we get through all of them, sometimes we don't, but that's okay. We still had lots of great information that came through. So before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the sponsors who make this year's conference possible. And so here are some of the highlights from WTC Creatives, our supporting sponsor, followed by Later Press, our banner sponsor. Yay. So yes, thank you to our sponsors. And so I put in the script again for me that I'm excited. And I need to really come up with a different term here. I don't know what I was thinking when I was putting out some of these ideas. For those who don't know, I do write a script for myself because I will go off topic and I'll start stealing people's lines and things will happen. So I try to keep myself on track. And so let's talk about what we've enjoyed today so far. What did you guys like?
I definitely had fun in J.M. Sully's about Immortals. That was a great, wonderful conversation.
What about you, Kauffman?
You know, it's kind of interesting. I feel like I've been listening to so much today. I feel like I've gotten a little bit out of everything. Whether the critique panel, like I had so much fun reading the stories and listening to them. And then even before that, I feel like we learned a lot about novel writing. I'm like brain fart as I'm clearly
all cramming in.
Yeah. It's like I've learned so much from like writing novels and AI and querying. And there's just been a lot of really helpful information. And I think it's actually been so powerful. It really has.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I've been to as the chairs, we try to stop in at every person's presentation, listen to a little bit. We do kind of claim, some of the presentations so that like if something happens, we're there on scene to see what's happening. We haven't really had too many issues. There's been a couple of glitch tech gremlins and stuff, but not too much this year. So I feel like now I'm overloaded with information.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. I caught most of Holly's, which I thought was really interesting, especially the way she broke it down with how with AI being part of the writing process and the company that she works for. Liked that one. Caught Michael's. So we have both of them on today. And he talked about the 5, I'm trying to remember the exact 5 reader secrets to transform your author life. It's funny, he kept saying secrets. I'm like, yes, tell us the secrets. He did finally get to tell us the secrets, but he was really good at giving that cliffhanger of like, I'm going to tell you these 5 secrets. So it was really good. There was a lot of great presentations today. So, there. Natalie gave me some thesaurus words. Ecstatic, thrilled, enamored.
It's interesting whenever you go to a conference and you feel like you're like cramming so much information. Like I feel like I've learned so much, but then if you ask me on the spot, I'm like, what did I learn? I feel like I need to like actually like absorb it for a few days now. But like I now the next time I go to write or the next time I go work on the publishing stuff or marketing, like I feel like I have so many more resources and it's so cool.
And I kind of envy the position that you're in right now, Kauffman, because before I was published and I was writing and I was learning all the things, I felt like I had so much room to learn all this knowledge because I was writing, but I was just taking all this knowledge about how to publish, how to market. I thought, these are all the great ideas I'm going to do. And now that I'm doing it, I'm like, I can't learn enough because I don't have enough time between publishing and marketing and writing to learn all the things. So I kind of envy being in that position before I was actually published. So you say
the time gets even more intangible the farther you get into the author journey.
Yeah. It was just like one of the phases from Becca's Science.
Yeah, exactly. Phase 1. Phase 1, yeah. The 5 phases of the author business. That was really cool. That was definitely a really great. I think it's just a really great way to frame what it looks like in the author journey. And I think a lot of authors clearly think about like a mix between phase 1 and phase 2, but they don't really think about it as a whole. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, are we ready to bring on some of our guests?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. I can tell everyone here in the chat is very excited. So happy to have all you guys. And welcome everyone to the chat, to the stream. We're so glad to have each of you here. If you guys want to take a moment to just introduce yourself today, tell us what you presented or what you're going to present. I think
some have presented and some haven't.
What was that?
Right?
I think everybody's presented today.
No, Joe goes tomorrow.
Oh, no, yeah, Joe's tomorrow, yeah.
Natalie,
I'll let you guys do your thing. I'll kick it down to Joe first. And
do the Brady Bunch.
Exactly. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe, also Six Cats Press on YouTube. I write, and I learned today, not romances. I write young adult fiction. So I've been told officially. I'm presenting tomorrow about writing 10,000 words a day to basically write a novel in 5 to 10 days. So that's what I'm talking about tomorrow. I'm looking forward to having everyone there.
I'm excited to see that one. Are you going to do Holly or Michael?
It could go either way. All right, let's go. Michael, we'll go like that.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael, maybe sometimes better known as the author sidekick. I presented on the 5 reader secrets today, which is essentially just really the 5 key parts of the reader journey that takes someone from stranger to superfan, and some things you probably don't know about it that can change what you think about it and hopefully help you market your books and grow your business. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun here. I love Authortube conference.
I know. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Michael, you can kick it over to Madeline. I'm gonna just go. Here. It seems to work.
Do you like that?
Hi, I'm Madeline James. I'm a fantasy writer and world builder here on YouTube. I did a workshop presentation yesterday on building a realistic fantasy kingdom in an hour, which, if you're familiar with any of my stuff, was definitely fun for me, given that my guide on rocks alone, I think, covered like 3 hours. So it was fun.
Yeah. DL, do we have you?
Right.
You're on mute.
Apparently, when I'm on someone else's StreamYard today, it's just not happy.
No, you didn't fall out of yours.
I know, not once. I don't know what's that about. But anyway, let me talk quick before the darkness takes me once again. I did a panel today on the anatomy of fear where myself and two other indie authors talked about the indie horror like whole set, what we do and what we think and what's happening with us and what's happening in the industry, which is very fun discussion. And I got to answer some awesome questions about horror because that's always the best time. And I'm author DL2, The Mission of Horror. I write horror, dark fantasy, and romance, and anything between. But of course, I lean into horror, and my stuff tends to have a taste of darkness. I'm currently the author of Cagliostro Tale of the Live Virgin, which is a dark fantasy.
Ooh. Oh, we lost her.
Well, we got that at least.
So close. It's been nice to her where we'll just cut her off like at almost a natural point.
I cannot promise any darkness will take any moment. So apparently the new staple of Mrs. Horror on everyone else's stuff. But anyway, you heard what I said. But that's what I presented today, so I really did enjoy that. But I'm here.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be here in the either with us, here and back.
We'll get whiplash. So I'm Natalie Locke. I am a co-author of 2 writing prompt books, and yes, 1,000 Words to Ignite Romance and 1,000 Words to Get Started. And tomorrow, my co-author and I are doing a presentation on her channel about the rules and regulations when you're entering these flash fiction competitions. And then we're going to do a workshop on my channel immediately after of live writing 100-word story. So be ready for that. It's going to move fast. Like 2 minutes to write a sentence situation. Something you could achieve, I promise. But kind of keeping in mind of, as it's called, writing between the lines of those guidelines that you get in those writing competitions. So that's the short and sweet of me. Holly?
I'm HollyRhiannon. I am the author of A Time When Demons. I work on a bunch of other stuff as well. I have a fantasy book coming out soon. A Time When Demons is like a witchy coming of age story. I like dark fiction, fantasy, mystery, all of that good stuff. I also run a small press called the Stygian Society, and within that we have a writing challenge called the Order of the Written Word, which focuses on writing free from AI. And my presentation was this morning, and it was called Quills versus Code, and it was very much about that interaction between writing and AI and what's going on right now. I did a bit of a rundown about some of the timeline elements of what's gone on with that, where we're at now. And in the middle, I got into a big chunk of philosophy as well. So if anyone is interested in philosophy, Martin Heidegger, that was my first real foray into trying to tackle some of that. So I was pretty happy with how it turned out, and we had a great turnout. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I've been really enjoying my time so far.
And then we do have some of our speakers who are part of the giveaway program. So I did want to run through that real quick. We've got Holly's got a whole collection from the Stygian Society, 4 different collections, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's so the Stygian collection was our initial collection. So that is all actually Authortubers. So that one's very exciting. Dark Flock is a solo author, Matt Pohl from Montreal. His book is also The Christmas Bird Diary, 2 very different things, Twilight Zone birding and then a cozy Christmas mystery. And 13 Haunted Nights is a collection of stories inspired by public domain classic works of horror. So you see a bunch of people's different takes on these various stories.
Okay. And then next we've got Madeline James. You want to talk a little bit about that for a second?
I mean, yeah, it's just an hour to sit down and talk about, world building. I'm not like, I don't offer this as a normal paid thing, but, it could be fun to talk about it. We could sketch out a map, sketch out some culture stuff, sketch out a world. It doesn't necessarily have to be fantasy because I don't know if there's any restrictions on who wins this. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, just an hour to kind of workshop and get you in the right direction, do a sketch of something. Depends on who wins and what they're looking for. So,
and then Joe.
Yeah, so this is partly I'm about to come do another book unless I decide to query it, which I haven't watched that presentation yet. But I need to get rid of some space on my shelves, so I'm giving away one of my signed copies of Mars Hill, which is formerly a romance now because there's a tragedy at the end. There's a tragedy now, but it's based on a really fun trip that I took down to Flagstaff, Arizona. So I wrote it all out based on that and had a great time. It was it wasn't my first book where I learned to write, but it was like the first one that I was like actually aiming to publish. So I'm super excited. I hope you like it, whoever gets it.
And then the last one we have is by D.L. Tillery.
This is the World Cagliostro, because you get Cagliostro, Winterwolf, Fractals, and Within, Room Within, which are all based in the Cagliostro world. So that's all the ebooks of those. So you get to really go into depth into the World Cagliostro.
Nice. All right. Kauffman, if you want to take it over here, I'll do the comments. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let's see. So as we're thinking about our Saturday happy hour, we're on the right day here.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling? How are you guys feeling about the presentations today? I feel like we had so many great presentations. A couple of you guys, obviously today, yesterday, tomorrow. We would love to hear from the chat. What was your favorite presentation? What stood out? Did you have any takeaways today, and why? I know so many questions. I was like, I feel like, let's say, I feel like for me, I think that I've learned like a lot of like writing technique and a lot of different types of just like writing mindset and ideology. It's actually really cool. It's really, really cool. I feel like I've grown as an author just in the span of a day and a half.
As I said in one of the chats, I said, AWC Catch-22, you're inspired to write, but you don't want to miss out on the presentations. And especially with like 4 presentations at once, I'm jumping between them, but then I'm like, well, wait, what did I miss while I was gone? And I'm just going to have to give myself like a week straight of watching and taking notes. And I someone said they actually took so many notes they had to start a new notebook. So
at least I got your notebook. I start notebooks and I have half-finished notebooks everywhere. So
yeah, I've had a few deadlines going on, so I haven't been able to stop in at much, which has been very, very, major FOMO. So my plan is once I finish my deadlines by the end of this month, I'm going to go back and just go through everything and treat it as like a mega course, since I'm trying to do a novella in the first 2 weeks of July. So I think I need the boost to go through everything. And there's a lot that I'm really excited for. Some I've written down specifically, like I'm excited for the writing your story in layers, not drafts, the anatomy of fear, because I'm always into horror, writing immortal characters, serialized fiction. So there's so many on my wish list, but I'm honestly just going to go through and watch everything in one big binge once I finish my deadlines. Very exciting.
Yeah, I relate to that FOMO too. I'm also on a revisions deadline, or a deadline, I guess, in general. So I've only been able to watch like I think 3 or 4 that I've been like half listening to as I'm desperately trying to get through my revisions on time. But there's so many good ones that I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, and if it's you can always go back and watch them if you're on YouTube.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a weird AWC for me because my wife and I are both in the Navy, and she is posted to Victoria, British Columbia, and I'm here in Calgary. And she just happened to fly in about 24 hours ago, so she's I'm trying to split my attention between moderating and being with her for a little bit and moderating. But then once this is all over tomorrow at noon, then we can spend the rest of the week together.
Yeah, Joe, I know Joe's one of our awesome moderators. He's been helping us out. Honestly, we couldn't do it without all of our moderators and all of our volunteers.
And Joe's been with us for a couple of years.
Thanks to all the moderators. Like, it's been great seeing the links pop up.
Yeah, definitely.
And stuff. That's been really helpful, being in chat and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm interested. And I go, oh, well, they just made it a click away. I have no excuse now.
I had that all the time on my videos.
It's so nice.
I always come out of AWC with a bunch of books on my reading list.
It's a good problem to have, though. It's a very good problem. I also picked up some books today because in between AWC sessions, I went to a local book festival. Could not resist. And it's like I got to pack it into the day.
Oh, it's necessary.
Yeah, it's necessary.
I like that you're stacking on an event, a competition, or a festival on top of another conference.
Amazing.
He does like a lot of stuff. If you guys didn't know.
I love it.
Do any of the people on screen read author-themed books? I'm reading the question from Margaret. Does she mean like book recommendations like for authors, or like books featuring authors in it?
Or craft books?
Buddy read author-themed books.
How do we interpret this question? Because I feel like we all can answer
What's
it.
buddy reading?
I don't know where the question is.
Everyone
Buddy
take out
read.
interpretation
I
of it.
volunteer.
Volunteers tribute.
I know for me, I am constantly adding because I get exposed to authors and I see their style, especially with presentations and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I might read your work now too. And so my TBR gets extensively longer. But also I really like the issue is that like even first page critique, I was like, I just want to beta read for everybody. And unfortunately, that doesn't pay the bills, though.
I said the last time my buddy read a book with someone was during Margaret's readathon that she did for the Black Author Tubers. So that was the last time I did it.
Buddy reading sounds so much fun, like a book club almost, right? Like yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a book
Never
amongst
done it.
authors.
Margaret used to do them every February. She would do a Black Author Tuber where we read books as buddy reads or in groups, and then we'd go on one of our channels and talk about our thoughts about the book.
Always
I
fun.
need that. I need the accountability.
We should start an AWC reading club.
Nice.
That'd be really
I mean, we definitely have the Discord now, so it's possible.
No, AWC reading list, compile all the books, and it's like suggestions of as Margaret expanded upon it, she said author craft books. So it's like the speaker's suggestions of craft books that helped them, or if they wrote their own, like a prompt book or with challenges. Couldn't help it. But then also maybe even here's a list of books by our speakers and stuff, because otherwise I'm sitting here writing this information down myself. So Shanon, not to add more to your to-do list, or I guess
my.
You can send it to me. I'll post
I'm giving it
it.
to Joe.
Yeah, I volunteer as tribute because
I can't take
great
on
idea,
it.
Natalie, it's yours. But I think that would be awesome as part of the packet.
If you get everyone to send in their book list, that would make it easier. And I assume everyone would want to do it because they'd want to promote their stuff. So as long as you have all the emails with everyone, then you just, copy and paste it into a master list, and there you go.
We could do it as a Google form, and it goes into a spread Excel.
There you go.
I can send it in the newsletter too, so anyone who's subscribed to the newsletter will get the list.
Exactly.
I like that.
We're making things
I
happen.
made a list of all my favorite book recommendations for authors, and I there's so many books in there that I'm like, oh my god, the biggest one in there that everyone should read, that I recommended a lot, but a lot of people here may not have read it. You have to read Fans First. It's by the guy who created the Span of Bananas, Jesse Cole. It is the coolest book on how to build super fans. It's amazing. So that's my one book recommendation.
Man, I'm gonna have to become an immortal just so I can consume all the books. And all the
My mom's always saying that.
We had this discussion. If you become immortal, just suddenly, you've got all this time, so you don't have to do anything, or you've got all this time, so you have to learn everything.
Yeah.
At least you have the time, and then you'll always get to things as long as something doesn't take you out somehow.
Well,
I actually have
death
this
of the
book
universe eventually.
sitting on my desk from Pat Flynn. He came out with it recently. It's
Oh.
called Lean Learning, which is about how to learn a lot of things.
Oh my god.
So if you want to learn,
Becoming a Jackie or Jack of all trades.
it's just a meta thing. It's overwhelmed, Lean Learning.
I need to do less things, though.
What is everyone drinking, by the way? Anything? Water? Tea?
Water.
I've got sparkling water.
Oh, wine.
I got water.
Red wine, water.
I have a boba tea.
Dragon mead.
I would have a Coke, but I'd have to get up and get it. That's my only vice is soda. Well, I say only vice. Let me broaden it. My vice is sugar. So,
Wow, that's broad.
soda, candy.
Person.
Honestly, I'm
Yeah,
with you though. Sugar's it.
can't have caffeine this late in the day if I got to be up at 8 in the morning, ready to go for my presentation tomorrow.
Yeah, please bring your best self. We promise we'll be nice, but it helps if you don't fall asleep.
Oh, I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning today, so I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. I've got lots
He's
of good
buzzing.
viewers.
He's buzzing.
My God.
So I'd like us to take into the word JOMO over FOMO if we can. That was from last AWC.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
And if anyone doesn't know, it's joy of missing out.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. And the submission's open tomorrow for the anthology. So if you have been inspired and you want to write something, they open tomorrow and they will stay open through the end of July. So,
Amazing.
That's really cool.
People have been asking for that for like the last 2 years. I'm like, I don't have time to do that. And this year we got a committee together. So some awesome people helping with
So
that.
everyone's going to submit for the anthology. And then how long, what is that like approval process look like?
I don't recall off the top of my head, but we do have a timeline set out.
Mhm.
I'd have to go find our agenda notes again. But
I was totally in the middle of writing a story for that, and then I got hospitalized, so I have to jump back in soon. But yeah,
you got a little.
but I do have a story already, so it's good.
Yay. What do people think about tomorrow? I mean, I don't know if everybody's going to be able to catch anything tomorrow, but is there anything tomorrow that you would like to catch, if not tomorrow or in the future?
All of it.
Ooh, right? I usually end up going back and watch everything if I don't catch like early in the morning. I do have a moderator spot that I'll be doing in the morning, but I usually catch that at least, and then I catch a few other things. But I always go back and watch every single thing, so because everything's so worth to listen to everyone's perspective of different things.
And it's been so long that you can almost go back to AWC 1 and then start over again.
That'd be like 3 weeks worth of watching.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was going to
yes,
say
it
I'm going to have to take a month off work and just watch excessively. The danger is if the videos are still available.
We need to give Holly a moment to do her outro because she's got to leave out.
Yeah, sorry, I have to head out a bit early, guys, but I'm glad I was able to join. I'm so happy to be a part of all of this again. It was so fun last year. I was in Romania last year, so it was very interesting putting all of that together from an Airbnb. So it's been a little bit easier to manage this year. I'm looking forward to watching everything. And I guess one thing I just want to say, we do have our AI free writing challenge coming up through the month of July. So if anyone is feeling super inspired and you want to join in, our main challenge in November is focused on word count, but this one does something a little different. So everyone's just trying to write for 1 hour a day on our Discord. So that's through stygiansociety.com/theorder. It's all over my socials, and I'll be talking about it a lot and trying to write my novella. So hopefully some of you will join in as well.
You got this.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.
So some people are wondering about questions that they asked during some of these live streams, and hopefully, Leon, if you didn't, I'm not sure. Oh, that's DL Tillery.
Yeah, I got most of them, but it's a few.
Yeah, and sometimes the speakers may not have seen the chat. So if you want to go back and leave it as a comment on the videos, that way the speakers can see it and answer it.
Yeah,
I definitely will go back and answer any questions that's on the video. Yeah.
I do craft books as well as like Buddy Reads, but we do it for the podcast. And so it's twice a year we do it. And we're going to do the Art of War for writers for later this year. Nice. So I do have a couple people who have already said that they're interested in doing it. If anyone can join us. You want to, Devon? Okay.
Is that like the Art of War? The Art of War, is there a different The Art of War for writers?
Like Sun Tzu, but focused on
like I've read the Art of War, but
I think it's obligatory if you're in the military.
Oh,
the Art of War for writers.
For writers. What?
I love that.
Okay, someone's got to post the link.
Yes, that one. I have it usually right behind me, but I don't know what I did with. Oh, it's
okay,
right
that's
behind
cool. Okay, I read the Art of War, but this is different.
I have it. So I pulled out because I have not read all the way through it, but I'm still trying to get through it.
Definitely much thinner than the Art of War.
Yeah.
Well, clearly.
I think the Art of War is on my nightstand right now.
Right.
I got a digital favorited in my Hoopla app with the library, so it's on my to-do list.
Question from how much do the writers mine from their past?
That depends.
A lot for me personally.
If I don't know. I don't think I could. People would be really like, they'd be like, wait, did this really happen to you? Since I write horror a lot, I'd be like, no, this did not happen to me. But if I did write anything outside of my other world elements, then I'd have a lot to dig into and use. But yeah, I just tend really just to create different worlds because I live in mine, so it's kind of boring for me. I like other things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I write from my past. In fact, when I'm writing, I don't know if any of you get this way, but when I'm writing, if I really get in the zone, it's like I'm reading. It's like I'm reading the book as it's coming up on the keyboard, and I'm not even thinking about it or aware of it.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I'll put like bits and pieces, like lots of small things in there, like a physical sensation I felt like looking at a view, or like something that I've seen, or like a small like emotional bit, even if it's not like the same thing that I'm reacting to. Like I'll put little things like that are just little like touchstones, but I haven't put anything like big that I've experienced in a book.
Yeah, I'll do like dialogue. So an example of something that I've said I'm going to put in a book, I haven't yet, but I have slight bags under my eyes. And of course, I beat myself up over it more than is needed. And my husband looked at me and went, honey, those are carry-on. I have to check these bag boys. And I was like, what? That is hilarious. And I hate that you said it because now I got to give you credit. But stuff like that, little inside jokes or something that just humorous, like I've done that.
Yeah, when I was writing Unfinished Symphony, which is the hopefully next book, I was writing it on a cruise with my mother and my aunt. So I took a story from their childhood and I made one of the characters tell it. And then I read it to them out loud and they lost their minds.
Love it.
We did get some questions about the anthology. All the information about the anthology is in the attendee packet, which you can see right now, just going to the attendee packet. And the committee, I'm sorry, I did not say their names earlier, is Shelley. She goes by HollyRhiannonWrites, I think is her screen name. And then Laura Nettles. So.
Yay, Laura.
I'm so grateful to have them both there. And even because Laura was supposed to present this weekend and she wasn't able to, very, very sad that she had to withdraw due to stuff, life happens. And so I'm glad that she still has this ability to have a part of the conference still. Cause I think she's been in the conference every year.
I was going to say I missed her this year.
Yeah.
This year's been weird. Just for the conference.
It's like, you guys, you wouldn't know how many speakers just stop responding to me. I've never had that happen before. One time, one person.
And it was like, oh, this person pulled out. I was like, whoa, that's a lot happening
I had to
this year.
take people off because they just stopped responding. I'm like, hello, I need links. Nothing.
They fell into the void.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. I think about a third of my mod slots got ghosted or they dropped out.
I mean, some people did have life things that happened, but I had a lot who just did not respond.
Yeah, communicating live things is one thing. Full on ghost mode.
Yeah, that's a little
rough. Weird.
I'm like, look, I was in a hospital bed and I checked my email and SD was like, somebody pulled out for the panel. I was like, I will take that. And I was in my hospital bed. Then I would take it. I did not cancel.
Doing a hyperbole. She was literally.
I was like a viral brain.
Checking her phone.
I was
and
like,
going, I'll do it. I should be discharged by then.
Right. I was like, I have obligations. My family's like, look, you need to. I'm like, no, I have obligations. I am not backing out of this. No.
Well, I appreciate DL.
Of course.
Yeah. Which, back to the first page critique. That's what I loved about that. Is one, I love editing and beta reading because I get to talk to the movie that's playing in my head. I
love the way your mind works, Natalie.
I do too. But then I love that, like, sometimes someone had a different idea. They're like, yeah, I see your point, but also we could go this way. And I'm like, ooh, I didn't think of that.
So what do you guys think about the first page critique?
Yeah.
Did all you guys check it out?
Yeah, this is good stuff.
I mean, it's either that or I blacked out during that hour.
Yeah, that's when I took my wife to the grocery store.
Yeah, you lucked out because it was an hour and a half long, Natalie. It's always the first page critique panel because I keep watch of all the videos that happen for the Authortube conference over the years, because we don't sell tickets. So I have to grab analytics any way that I can in order to show how we're growing and what we're doing and our reach. And so I constantly check in with videos and stuff that from our past years. And the first page critique panel is one of the ones that continuously get a view here and there all the time. I don't get huge views. I'm not a huge channel, but it continues to get views compared to like everything else that I have. That is like the opening session, closing session, happy hours. It's the first page critique panel that continuously gets views.
I think it was always a cool idea, and I wait for it every year because I was moderating for it originally. I was like, I have to be there in some shape or form. So when you said be on the panel, I'm like, heck yeah.
You know why I do the first page critique panel? Because there's no way I could present.
Right? I feel that you have way too much going on.
No, I get really nervous presenting things.
What's this crazy? You're so good at it, though.
Wait, aren't you presenting at 8 p.m.?
No, I'm just hosting it.
Oh, you're hosting it. Okay, I was like...
She's like, wait, what?
So one of our sponsors, we gave it where our sponsors, the first couple who came on, which we only got the 2, they were able to do a late night presentation if they wanted to. And so they chose it. But the WTC Creatives, they don't have a YouTube channel. So I said, well, you could... Rachel is the other half of it. She has a YouTube channel, or I said, or you could do it on mine, and they decided to choose mine. So
cool.
Yeah,
it's nice of you.
So in other words, stay tuned. It's not over.
That's right.
I don't have to do a whole lot with that one. So
better not drink too much Prosecco. Though I think I'm going to get dragged away by the spouse.
Michael, I did grab this information because I knew you were doing Author Sidekick, but do you have something else you're promoting now, right? The book beyond the book.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like in short, yeah, like I have a newsletter that helps authors market their books, and then separately, we're building a pretty cool technology platform to help people go from books to movies. So that's called Creatorwood, and we have a free book about that. But yeah, that's what most of my time goes into that. But I just can't stop being in the author community explicitly. So it's like everything I do is for authors, but like Author Sidekicks, like just authorly stuff, and then I do some like pretty science fiction stuff. Like otherwise, like it's not science fiction, but like it feels science fiction. But we live in a cool world.
Because it's ahead of time.
That's actually really cool. I feel like there's a huge need for adaptations. A lot of writers who want to find other mediums to translate their stories.
I found one myself. I'm social media manager for Charm City Filmmakers, so they help each other make films, and they've done quite a lot over the years. So I'm like looking forward to getting like The Room Within made, because it's like the easiest film to make, because it's like 2 people and then 1 room and 1 house. So they was like, this is golden easy for us to make this, no problem. We got everything that we could do. I'm like, I wrote the script for it already and everything, so I'm like just waiting to direct it and do it, because fun time.
Yeah, I can see your stuff made into movies. Nice. I can see it.
Yeah, I'm totally excited about getting it done.
I'd like to make a visual novel one day.
Yeah, definitely love
that idea.
You can do that using Itch. You can do a lot using Itch right now. Itch.io, I think is the site.
Didn't you bring that up, Michael, at one point in the Buggos?
Yeah, I bring up so much weird stuff. But yeah, Itch. And then there's this programming language called Twine that's basically built for visual novels, and it's open source, so it's free to use.
Wow, that's cool.
And it's
I've been learning RemPy.
Yeah, no, you could. It's similar to that, and you would pick it up, Joe, probably in like an hour. You'd be like, I got this.
It's the renders. I'm bad at modeling things.
No, I think you would get this down pretty quickly. It's almost like if y'all ever played like a Telltale video game. I feel like Twine is similar to
Yes,
Telltale.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Y'all losing me. I have no idea what these words are.
Mention video games, I knew it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yes.
Thanks, Kat.
For what we have going tomorrow, so like I know we've gone through a lot of great presentations. Is there any that you guys are looking forward to tomorrow's?
Ooh, so many.
Isn't there one that's on like marketing a book before launch?
Yeah,
I think
that one I'm serious about too.
Yeah, that's always tricky.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only one I'll get to catch live. Maybe some of the other ones, but
yeah, that's Padara Spence. No product, no problem. Marketing pre-debut.
Yeah, she has her stats in there. How she had 150 plus sales without paying for ads. Becoming an Ingram Spark bestseller in her genre on release, number 3, and that was her debut.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, the thing
Can't be
is,
mad about that.
these presentations, I'm not ready for the information now, but I know I will need the information in the future. And so I feel like I need like a categorical system. And I guess I'm just going to have to make private playlist and go through every single AWC and be like, all right, Natalie, here's your resources for when you're marketing. All right, here's your resources for editing. And
Yeah, they have books for all of this. I'm looking forward to Devon's for sure, because going local, always interested in that. So definitely. And of course, the one I think we just mentioned, no product, no problem, marketing pre-debut. Like, how could we, all of us can use that, because like everybody can use that. So definitely those two for sure. Now they're moderating for the chill subs versus submittable, choosing the right manager for literary magazine submissions. And I do submit for literary magazines on the regular. So
I don't have that one on the list anymore because I didn't get a response.
Oh, for real? Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I'm free to not do that. What? Okay, well, there's that. But yeah, Devon, I'm coming after you tomorrow, because I definitely
we have witnesses.
Local, right? We have witnesses. I've already told everyone now. We have witnesses. But yeah, the local, like anything, please. Like I'm gonna have my notebook ready,
So everyone knows that if I go missing, just call
that
me
it was
out.
Danny. I kidnapped her, and I was like, "You got to tell me all the secrets of the local." So yeah, looking forward to Devon.
I just got like a crazy idea. I hate my brain sometimes. Shanon, we can talk about this offline because I can help you do this.
Okay.
But if you got permission from speakers, you could do it for the sessions on your channel. But you can take all the transcripts and then upload it into something people can talk to and ask questions about to it. So basically, if anything they want to learn,
really good.
Yes. Well, Michael just built himself his own bot. That's him.
Yeah, I did that for myself. So I'm like, this
Michael,
is very.
you're my kind of person.
Yeah, this is very easy now. So if you want to do it, Shanon, I have an extra ability to create one in my account. Then it won't cost anything extra to you all. So I can y'all can just use it for now. So we can talk offline.
Okay.
And you'd have to get permission from people for sure. But if as a collective community we want to create another way to access these resources, I think it would actually be very, very feasible. And it would be wild. You'd basically be able to talk to AWC and get back all of its knowledge whenever you need it, whatever you're currently facing.
That's really awesome.
I'm so in for that. My permission's already granted for tomorrow.
Everyone is.
You have
me open completely 100. Go for it.
But we'll talk offline. This is like an after the dust settles conference thing.
Yeah, after I get some sleep, y'all.
But please reach out to me, because I think it's just, I love what everyone's talking about, and I think we should take it to the next level.
So any moments from the AWC workshops or panels that stuck with you guys that was like profound? Any potential future collab with fellow writers? I always want to collab with lots of people. I have lots of ideas. I just don't have time to execute.
That's how I ran into you, is through like the first AWC, and then I latched on, and you can't get away from me unless you change your username. So
that's how it goes with this thing.
Love it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think I just try to collaborate with everyone. But I mean, I'm basically always streaming. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, you're like always on recruitment. So
so I'm like, well, you know what? You want to? All right, we'll make it happen tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I need to get with you, Kauffman, and you, Michael. I'm adding something new to All Call Indie, like a resource database type deal.
Cool.
Oh my goodness. For anyone who doesn't know what All Call Indie is, what is it?
All Call Indie is a database of freelancers for indie authors. So it's basically freelancers who are indie authors who offer services. Editing, beta reading, cover design,
audiobook narrator,
book narrator. We since I relaunched the website, we have 2 new audiobook narrators.
Speaking of Kauffman, I think everybody wants you to narrate their books.
Yes.
Oh, did they
I was
really?
thinking that.
There's a lot of comments during the first page critique panel.
Wow,
They're
yeah,
like,
that
"Who
sounds
hired
great.
this guy?"
I think he'd make
Everybody-
anybody's story sound good. Like, I gotta read this. Kauffman read it.
You have the upbeat voice too, where it like feels
Aw.
good to listen. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I want more.
Like a beautiful
Aw.
cadence, but you speed it up when it's needed. You bring it slower down, and like it's definitely not listening to Ben Stein. Okay, for
I feel so
Well,
honored.
now.
Thank you all.
Look,
You
we
guys
gotta
can
make
see
an
the
ad for
camera, I'm blushing.
Kauffman. Be like, story falling flat. Get Kauffman to read it.
I will say there is something to the stories because the first page critiques, I read them all, but then hearing them being read, it was a whole new experience for me. And like I wasn't, I didn't have my hiccups, as I call them, as much when I was listening to it a second time as out loud.
Yes.
You know what's interesting is with live reading, like I grew up doing a lot of acting, but I didn't think I was that great of an actor. I was like, I enjoyed it. I'm an awesome writer, at least learning through the journey, of course, but compared to acting, like is moderate. So when I started this journey, one of the first popular streams that I had started was a story and critique show where basically everyone submits stories and I read them every other weekend.
So they weren't there for the critique. They were there for your reading.
What was that?
Facts.
They weren't there for the critique.
I think
They were
there's
there
a
for your reading.
message, a clear message
Write
here.
that reading. Good stuff.
And so I don't really listen to a lot of audiobooks because I think most people know, but maybe not everybody. I'm partially tone deaf, so if I don't always hear what everybody's saying. And I don't understand a lot of audiobook narrators, but when Kauffman was reading, and even Devon, I understand her. When they both read, I can understand what they're saying. So it's a delight.
That's the highest praise, I think.
Yeah.
Right? That's so cool. All right, guys. Well, audiobook services coming to Authortube Writing Conference near you.
Near you.
Nice. Yeah, I use audiobooks for 99% of my reading.
Me too.
I'm
a
big
huge
deal
audiobook.
these days.
I'm like a huge audiobook listener. One of the things I keep telling writers, like, if you just published your book, make an audiobook. Like, make a really easy one yourself, so you at least have it out there. But it's just such a huge missed opportunity.
So it's something I did on my YouTube. I took public domain stories like the Grimm's fairy tales, and I just read them out loud and tried to do voices, and I had fun with that. Of course, my attention deviated to another project after like 20, but they're there.
They're there.
They
I
are
love
there.
reading stuff though, but I
And
have
when
like
you get to the
2 things on my channel where I
monetization-
read stuff.
Yeah, when you get to the monetization on YouTube, because I think there's several authors who have just read their stories on YouTube and it's posted on their channels.
Yeah, there is.
We are going to have to head into the outros because I do have to get the channel ready for the next show coming up. And there's a few of us. I want to give you guys all time to talk about who you are, where people can find out more about you, and talk a little bit more about your presentation, whether it's upcoming or it's past already, but, get people interested in wanting to go watch it.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'll just kick it off and we can circle back.
All right.
Because
There we go.
otherwise, we're going to play the nice game of like, no. Okay. Natalie Locke, I'm a parent and a fur mom, in case you didn't see, but they're called Lilo and Stitch. So I will rock
Yay.
on Disney trivia. I will take you down, I promise.
Nice.
But when I'm not doing trivia, I am enjoying writing flash fiction because I can't stick to just one genre. So why don't I just play in all of them? And you can get a taste of that in tomorrow's presentation, the flash fiction workshop at 11:30 Eastern. I'm in Central Time, so I always have to do the math in my head. It's only 1 hour, but for some reason I get held up. At 11:30 Eastern, where we will try to write a 100-word story in 20 minutes.
Nice.
I promise you. I've done it before. But that will be tomorrow. DL?
Yep. I'm author the Authortube, the Mistress of Horror. I write dark fantasy, romance, and horror. I love to scare people, so that's like my motif. You can read my works on Amazon and just pretty much all the platforms because Cagliostro Tillery Burton is my newest dark fantasy novel that is getting rave reviews. It's a lot of creepy fun. It got romance. It's got layers. It's a little bit for everybody in there. And if you haven't read my short horror, I'm known for being the short horror queen because I can knock out some short horror that's just going to make you not sleep at night. I have The Room Within Fractals, and I am also a poet. So if you check my YouTube channel, yep, Thorns of My Heart is out. My YouTube channel, I tend to do a reading at the end of the month, which actually comes out tomorrow, and the beginning of the month, which is a prompt for you to write poetry with me. But Thorns of My Heart, you will get a taste of that if you follow Layer of the Mistress, which is my poetry show where I do read dark poetry. And I'm told I have a radio voice at times, so it's a good listen. So you can check me on my YouTube channel for all my author journey and anything scary. And of course, subscribe to my newsletter because you get who I'm reading, what I have going on, all the links. And if you subscribe, you get a free novella of Winterwolf or even your pick of Ladrega if you really want to be scared. So that's me in a nutshell. Check me out on my YouTube channel.
You're closing, DL. You're closing.
I know. I gotta say it. I said it earlier, but you can never get enough of it.
No, I can't.
Stay scared.
Oh,
Love it.
I will say as well, way better to have a radio voice rather than a face for radio. Like radio voice, I'll take any of that.
Right.
Madeline?
Oh yeah, okay, that's me. I feel like I was just gonna be like, oh yeah, my channel's linked in the description. Great. I'm a fantasy writer. Madeline James Writes is my channel. I also do a lot of really intensive world building stuff on my Madeline James World Builds channel. So if you're curious about like spec geo or like conlanging or 3 hours of rocks, hit me up over there. I'll probably start publishing it next year. Yeah, it's been fun getting to meet everyone. I feel like I'm super antisocial and I haven't gotten to know too many author tubers yet. So I'm excited to be here and meeting people.
I'm glad you joined us.
Well, hi. My name's Michael. I'll first say I have 2 cool free things for y'all, which I shared during my session, which you haven't watched 5 Reader Secrets yet. You should go watch it. But I'll share my 30-second arc, then what those free things are. So my arc is I started, my arc as if I'm a character. Oh, whatever. Started self-publishing sci-fi novels now 8 years ago. I published 12, then got into YouTube myself, and then did live streaming for a while. Then started a software company that helped authors make money in memberships. I did that while I was in college. Authors made a little bit over $1 million a year on the platform. I think a lot of y'all started to get to meet me from that. After I did that, I worked for Mr. Beast for roughly a year. I was on his growth team doing data and analytics. I quit my job 4 months ago, started a newsletter called Author Sidekick, where I help authors really succeed in the future of publishing. It's about growing in the future of publishing, but also just understanding where things are at. If you subscribe to that newsletter at authorsidekick.com, I'll give you this card deck for free. Not the physical card deck, digital. I wish I could give the physical away. It's 50 free superpowers to help you market your books. They're cute, they're fun, they're illustrated. You'll actually get like the digital illustrated version. You could just print it out yourself. What I'm doing now is I'm devoting a lot of my time into working with 2 of my buddies from school to build a platform that helps take a book. When you upload your book, we use AI to convert it into a movie. Pretty magical. We're going to be launching into beta soon. And yeah, I think Hollywood's going to change forever. And we're trying to help authors rule it. So that's my story. I'm on a mission to help storytellers of the world.
I
Keep
totally
calling
forgot
it an arc. Keep calling it an arc. That is like the perfect name for what it is.
Art.
So subscribing to that newsletter.
I should mention there's a free book about that. It's Craterwood at makeyourownmovies.tv. You can learn about what's happening right now with movies and writing. And I'm convinced it's one of the biggest changes we'll see in media ever.
Nice.
So Michael, did you see? I did get it in. Last time we talked, I told you I hadn't got it yet.
Oh, no way. Yes, good. I'm glad it came. You're the best, Shannon. You're the best.
I forgot about it.
That's so sweet. I'm glad it came. Y'all can get that for free. So
well, as a downloadable.
Downloadable, yeah, to be fair.
Not the physical.
I have a printer, so I'm all over it.
Yeah. I mean, you could get the physical version too, but I'm not trying to promote anything. You can get the version for free. Yeah.
Nice.
Great. I'm Joe from 6 Cats Press, and yes, I actually have 6 cats.
I love you already.
I love you too. So tomorrow, you can find me tomorrow. I'm talking about writing 10,000 words a day and making sure that the 10,000 words aren't terrible. So come check me out tomorrow at 8 o'clock my time, which is Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Pacific, and 11 o'clock Atlantic. Eastern people, you can do the math.
This is true. We can.
Kauffman. You're on mute. You're on mute.
You know, I had to make sure that I pulled off at least one mute conversation. I'm just so honored and pleased to be able to meet everyone here. Let's see, before we do our outros, let's take another quick look at our sponsors and the services they provide. Again, thank you to WTC Creatives and Later Press for supporting the 2025 AWC. Thank you for that to our sponsors. And make sure to stay tuned after this happy hour for a full presentation of WTC Creative Services and how they can help creatives with their website. And let me tell you, I'm working with them for my personal website, not yet soon to launch, and I'm so impressed. So definitely they are they're absolutely incredible, and I definitely make sure you should go check them out after this presentation in just a few minutes. As for me, I'm Kauffman, founder of the Right Now community, 545 consecutive writing streams and counting. You are all welcome to come join me if you ever want to come get your writing on, or just talk about all the nonsense of the writing journey while you're procrastinating from writing. Thank you all.
Narrator extraordinaire, you forgot that.
Sorry, guys.
Writer extraordinaire, dragon lover.
Stop. Sorry. we got 3 minutes left. I got to get over to get onto the other platform. And Devon and I have not had a chance to say goodbye. So I'm just going to say goodbye. Shanon and Devon.
Anthology tomorrow.
Yes. And don't forget about the feedback forums. We had a lot more to say, but we ran out of time. So I'm so sorry to cut you off. And all right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.